Chapter 7. The verb. Kinds of verbs. A. The verb is the most important part of a sentence. Like the engine of a car, it makes the sentence move by telling us what the subject is doing, what the condition or quality of the subject is, and what the subject possesses. Look at the following sentences for illustration. 1. Rani sang a song. Action. 2. The market was crowded. Condition. Quality. 3. He has a big house. Possession. These three sentences denote action, being and possession of the subject through the verbs sang, was and has respectively. The verb in fact is a very complex part of speech. It has tense, aspects, moods and voices. Besides, verbs can be transitive or intransitive and linking verbs weak or strong, finite or non-finite, auxiliary or modal verbs. Then sometimes the same verb can be a noun, verb or adjective depending on how that verb is used. Look at the following sentences for illustration. 1. Do you dream of ever going around the whole world? Verb. 2. I had a beautiful dream last night. Noun. 3. He succeeded in completing his dream project. Adjective. B. Transitive and intransitive verbs. Note the use of verbs in the following sentences. 1. The soldiers fired their guns. 2. The rich helped the poor. 3. The servant served his master sincerely. 4. The birds flew away. 5. She writes well. 6. The rain stopped long ago. In sentences 1, 2 and 3, the words fired, helped and served are examples of transitive verbs. The soldiers fired what? The answer is guns. The rich helped whom or what? The answer is the poor. The servant served whom? The answer is master. Thus, fired, helped and served are such words which require objects to make the sense complete. Such verbs are called transitive verbs. Note: a verb that requires an object to complete the meaning, sense is called a transitive verb. In sentence 4, 5 and 6, the verbs flew, writes and stopped do not require an object to make the sense complete. Such verbs are called intransitive verbs. Note: a verb that does not require an object to make sense but makes good sense by itself is called an intransitive verb. C. Most verbs can be used both transitively or intransitively. If we say we must eat food every day, eat has been used transitively with food as an object. But if we say we must eat every day, we have used eat intransitively. Modern grammarians therefore consider it wiser to speak of a verb as being used transitively or used intransitively instead of dividing verbs into transitive and intransitive. Look at the following sentences carefully. Transitive. Intransitive. 1. The boy flew kites. The bird flew away. 2. We grow roses in our garden. These plants grow fast. 3. She wrote a letter. She writes well. 4. The reference stopped the game. The rain stopped long ago. 5. The pirates sank with the ship. The ship sank very fast. D. Read the following sentences carefully. 1. Gas and coal are fuels. 2. He is a musician. 3. The dog looks dangerous. 4. You appear well today. Examine the above sentences 1, 2, 3 and 4. In these sentences are, is, looks and appear are neither transitive nor intransitive verbs. They are called linking verbs. If a transitive verb is followed by an object, a linking verb is followed by a complement. In the above sentences, the words within inverted commas, fuels, musician, dangerous and well are all complements. A complement is related to the subject of the sentence. A linking verb is so called because it links a subject and a complement. The complement describes or identifies the subject. Note: verbs that complement are called linking verbs or verbs of incomplete predication or incomplete verbs. The most common linking verb is be, which has various forms: am, is, are, was, were, being, been. Other common linking verbs are appear, seem, become. In some contexts, the words feel, grow, look, taste, turn, smell, prove, come, fall, go, keep and sound are also used as linking verbs as 1. The dead cannot feel. Intransitive. 2. I have got a cold and I can smell. Intransitive. 3. This fish smells bad or we all feel sad. Linking verbs. Here, the same verbs feel, smell are used both intransitively and as linking verbs. These very verbs can be used transitively also as I feel the stones under my feet. Object. Transitive. Can you smell smoke? Object. Transitive. E. Double objects, direct and indirect objects. Certain transitive verbs such as give, ask, offer, promise, tell, etc. have two objects after them. A direct object is usually the name of something and an indirect object which denotes the person whom something is given or for whom something is done. Examples: 1. He gave me a book. 2. The young man offered her a seat. In sentence 1, book is the direct object and me is the indirect object. Similarly, in sentence 2, seat is the direct object and her is the indirect object. F. Primary auxiliaries. Study the verbs in the two columns below. A. B. Aziz is now in Madras. He is coming here tomorrow. I have a lot of modern novels at home. I have read them all. Do as I tell you. Don't disobey me. Do you know the answer to this question? In column A, the verbs is, have and do are used as full verbs. In column B, they are not used as full verbs but as helping verbs. They help the main verbs come, read, disobey and know to form certain tenses or to make questions or commands or to make negative sentences. Is used in the first sentence in column B to form the present continuous tense of the main verb come. Note that is a form of the verb be. Have is used in the second sentence to form the present perfect tense of the main verb read. Do is used in the third sentence to form the negative of the main verb disobey. Do is used in the fourth sentence to form a question with the main verb no. When used in these ways, the verbs be, do and have are called auxiliaries or helping verbs. They are called primary auxiliaries because they help to form certain important grammatical constructions such as tenses, questions, negative sentences, passive voice, etc. The forms of be is, are, am, was, were, being, been. The forms of have, has, had, having. The forms of do, does, did, doing, done. Note: the primary auxiliaries change their form according to the number and person of the subject. Also, they have different tense forms. G. Uses of auxiliary verbs. A. 1. Help us in forming questions by inversion. 2. Are necessary to form negatives. 3. Are used in short answers. 4. Are necessary for forming question tags. 5. Are used for saying something with emphasis. B. The to be verbs are used in 1. Forming continuous tense forms. 2. Needed for passivation. 3. Also used as main verbs. 4. The to-do verbs are also used as main verbs. 5. The to-have verbs are used in forming perfect tense forms. H. Strong and weak verbs. Verbs can be divided into two broad categories. 1. Strong verbs. 2. Weak verbs. These two categories of verbs differ in the manner in which they form the past tense. 1. The past form of strong verbs is made by changing one or more vowels. The past forms and past participles often differ. 2. The past form of weak verbs is made by adding ed, d or t to their present form. There may or may not be changes in the vowels of the verb. Sometimes, despite a changed vowel, they also require a final d or t, which is not there in the present form. The past participles of weak verbs are usually, but not always, the same as the past forms, as walk, walked, walked, cook, cooked, cooked, learn, learned, learned, sew, sewed, sewn. Remember, there is a very simple way of telling whether a particular verb is weak or strong. If in the past tense of the verb there is present a final d or t that is not found in the present tense, it is a weak verb. Note: irregular verbs. Such verbs form another category of verbs. They have no pattern for forming past and past participle forms as go, went, gone, eat, ate, eaten. I. Finite and non-finite verbs. Verbs can occur in finite and non-finite forms. A finite verb is one that indicates tense, past, present, future. Number, whether the subject is singular or plural. Person, whether it, subject, is used in the first, second or third person. For example, Sushant is writing a letter to his friend. In this sentence, the verb is finite because it is in the present continuous tense. It agrees with a single subject and it tells us that the subject is a third person, neither the speaker nor the person spoken to. Note: a complete sentence must always have a finite verb. Examples: I gave my friend a book. She feels happy because of her success. We take exercise daily to keep fit. A non-finite verb form has no tense, number or person. It cannot be the main verb in a sentence. Hence, it cannot form a complete sentence by itself. Infinitives, gerunds and participles are the non-finite verbs. Examples: 1. I have to dance. Infinite. 2. My hobby is singing. Gerund. 3. The dancing lady was photographed. Participle.